Hi guys, how are you doing today? I hope all is well with you and your families. If you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Nancy, and in this channel I just share with you guys about my healing journey. Basically, it's all about healing together, what God is doing, what God has done. So it's all about healing, helping each other to go through this life together. And yes, and healing is not a joke. If you have been through any trauma, any pain, any sickness, death, of death of a loved one, of course, or anything at all that is painful, you know that the journey to healing is not easy. And that's what I'm going to talk about. The journey is messy, the journey is very lonely, and the journey is very, very hard. And so today I'm going to talk about that. Hopefully you can learn one or two things in this. If you can, then we give all the glory to God. So guys, if you have been watching some of my videos, you already know that everything that I share in this channel, it's my journey, what I have been through. Journeys are so different. Something that might be so painful for me might not be even painful for you, because journeys are so different, and the way we experience pain is totally different. So that's why everything I share in this channel is just what I went through and what I did to overcome, or what I'm doing to overcome. For me, why this journey has been so painful, hard, and messy is because, well, if you watch the other video where I talked about me building a house, imagine living in that house that you have built for so many years. That has become your normal. Dysfunction has become your normal. So all of a sudden, trying to get out of that normal situation, which is dysfunctional, going to what is called normal, it's a challenge. I had worked really hard building me a house with no windows, no doors, no any crack whatsoever. No one could get in that house because I had to protect that little girl that was in there. So I had worked so hard to build that house. So coming out of that house was a challenge. So that coming out to figure out, okay, so where do I live now? What do you do in this new world? That's what becomes difficult, to try and form new habits, see through new perspective, think, change your mindset, things like that. That's what becomes difficult. That process of you trying to get out of that house that you built to going into the normal world, in that process of you trying to familiarize with yourself with the new you. Where do I live? How do I function? How do I think? How do I see people? How do I trust? You're trying to figure this thing out. As grown as you are really trying to figure this thing out inside you. But the whole entire process is also frustrating because the people who are surrounding you, your loved ones, they don't understand that. They can't, unknowingly to them, they won't see it that way. They see it like, oh, you are playing victim, or they quickly label you. Oh, you are so mean. Oh, you are so tight. You are so this and that. All these labels will come on you. So you have to be prepared, like, okay, what do I do with these labels? I'm trying to remove the labels that I had created for myself. But in that process, there are more new labels that are coming towards you. So it becomes really difficult. The process becomes really difficult. You're trying to fight the old you, yet you're trying to fight what people are labeling you as. You are trying to get away from the labels. Yes, the labels that they are saying might be very true, But that's what you're trying to heal from. You're trying to get out, yet they keep on labeling you. So it becomes a very challenging process. Then the problem becomes, okay, what do you do? And if you don't know God, it becomes even more challenging. Like for me, my relationship with God was really a superficial thing. So the minute I made 5 steps forward, I see myself going 10 steps, 20 steps backwards, becoming even worse than what I was. Worse than what I was trying to change from. Because for me, at the beginning of my healing, I thought I was supposed to fix me. I was so focused on fixing me, guys. I thought, oh my goodness, I need to fix this person. Because I had also my own labels. Oh, I'm rejected. Oh, I did something wrong. Oh, I'm broken. Something is wrong with me. I must have done something. So all those things that I had created, those labels that I had created for myself, were the most resistant ones that I had to break. So I thought, oh, for me to be healed, I have to fix this thing, because that's what I treated myself, like a damaged, broken, whatever. So my effort was into trying to fix me. I was trying to fix me, and I always fall short. I always failed. I went back to zero. It was like a rewind button. Every time I move forward, I rewind to the beginning of the movie again, and I start all over again. So it becomes a cycle. It was just now a cycle of whatever. Now, if you allow the triggers, the frustrations, the labels that people are putting on you to get into your head, you will give up, and you will go back to that little house that was suffocating you, because it's getting smaller and smaller and tighter. You will give up, and you will go back to your abnormal normal, because that dysfunction is now normal to you. So you would find it easier to say, you know what, I was better off in my dysfunction than what I'm experiencing now. I'm experiencing more hurt, more labels, more frustration. This is too hard. Let me just go back to what I know. It'll be easy to do that. I did that many times. I would go back. I'm like, forget this, and I'll go back to zero, because I was trying so hard to do everything in my own strength. I didn't know how to ask God to help me. So I was just finding myself going back to zero and starting again. Especially in the years of 2003 to 2005. Oh my goodness, I think that was the most challenging years. I had mentally disconnected with the world. I had mentally disconnected with my family. Everything was now just, I was like a walking zombie. I don't know if it makes sense. I was just there, but I was not there at all. I had checked out mentally. I had disconnected from people, from feelings, physically and emotionally. That's what I felt, because I had given up on myself. I thought I cannot be fixed. Since I was trying to fix myself, I just thought, you know what, nothing can fix me. Nobody can fix me. God cannot fix me. So it is what it is. So I just said, you know what, it's just gonna be whatever until we check out of this world. That was what was in my mind. But thank God for his grace and mercy. He had other plans waiting for me. So yeah. Don't give up on yourself. Things may seem so difficult at this time. If you are going through healing, you're now getting out of your cocoon that you had built for yourself. Just don't give up. Just one step at a time. And with healing, what I've learned, don't let people pressure you, because it's never the same. You're not in a race with anybody. It's your life. So if it means you learning one habit a year and you master it, and it's a good habit that is going to take you out of the bondage, whatever bondage you are in, then it's worth it. You go for that. Do one step, baby step, crawl if you have to, as long as you don't stay in that situation that is making you miserable. So just don't give up. Because let me tell you something, if you do give up on yourself, it's not gonna get better. That little house that you had built for yourself, which was comfortable for those years, previous years, won't be comfortable no more, because you have outgrown that little house. Something is pushing you to change, and that something is God. So you become more frustrated, more angrier, you become more lonely, more sad. Your perspective is distorted, because everything, any small little thing, you're gonna see it the wrong way. It's just going to make you angry. People around you now are gonna feel like they're walking on eggshells, whatever, because your heart your heart would have been hardened even more, because you are thinking, you know what, God cannot change me. I can't change. God can't fix me. I'm just unfixable, if that's a word. So you would have given up on yourself completely, and that becomes even the worst thing ever. So you become more miserable, and you don't want that. So don't give up on yourself. Just keep on going. No matter what you are facing, just keep on taking those baby steps in your own path, on your own time, your own pace. It's better than giving up on yourself. So you might ask, well, so where do I start? That's what I was now asking myself when I reached the peak of my dysfunctions. I was like, okay, God, where do I start? I've tried everything. I've read books upon books. And every time I master a habit for 30 days, I rewind back to my old self and become worse. So where do I start? What's the problem, God? What is the problem? This was now on the peak of my, like, really peak of all the dysfunctions upon dysfunctions. And then God showed me something. It wasn't about me fixing me. It was just a heart issue. My heart had become so stony. I was angry. I was still angry. And even though I was telling myself, oh, I forgave him. But seeing it now, I think I wanted revenge. But because the person had died without saying sorry to me, and without me taking my revenge on him, I guess, I think that what made me more angrier. That, okay, this person died, so who is gonna take my anger? Who's going to take this anger? So I think that contributed to that hardness, that anger. I just did not know where to put it to. I didn't know where I didn't have anyone to revenge this anger, because that's what I wanted. I wanted revenge. I wanted him to suffer from me. Let me make you suffer for what you did. But because he wasn't there no more, that what hardened my heart. So when God started showing me it was a heart issue, then the journey really began, because now I had asked God, you need to help me. It wasn't about me doing it out of my own strength no more. It was about, God, I need your help. Where do I start? So that doing it in my own strength wanted to show up every time, because I thought, oh God, you are doing it slowly. I want this healing to be overnight. I'm sick of me. I'm sick of everything. So, of course, I started with those things that people were saying about me, my family, because your family are the ones who are really going to tell you the truth, because that's where your truthness is seen around them. So because they always, oh yes, oh you're obsessive cleaning, oh what did they, your perfectionism, which is I think obsessive cleaning, what else would they say? Controlling issues, identity issues, insecurity issues. The list goes on and on and on and on of the labels that I received. And they were actually true, because these people know you. So they will tell you what they see. So that's what I try to say. Okay, so how would I stop this controlling problem? How do I stop this insecurity? How do I do this? That's where that fixing, started. Or let me fix myself, until I knew that, what, I was trying to fix me and it wasn't working. Until I said, God, now show me what is the problem. And then he showed my heart. And some of the deeper issues, that's when I started seeing the deeper issues of where those things were coming from, like insecurities, controlling issue. It was all because I was trying to cover the shame. That's the deeper problems that needed to be tackled, the inside issues. All that external things that people saw, it came from what was really what was the issue inside. Shame, the fear, anxiety issues, bitterness, unforgiveness, blame, what else? Blame, so many stuff that arised from the inside. Those things were just choking my heart. So those things caused those controlling issues. They caused insecurity issues, because I was trying to cover those things that were within. So when God started dealing with me on those issues, that's when I started really seeing visible changes, So when I agreed to go God's way, to go the path that God had set for me, the books that I had read previously, when I went back to them, I saw something else. It was like my eyes and my ears of my understanding were opened a little bit. So I started seeing something that I had not saw previously. So those relapses that I was experiencing before, I didn't experience it as much. I would let's say I managed to do 60 days without screaming at anybody, saying something in a normal way. I would celebrate myself. I would say, you know what, that's progress. I just noticed it and journal it and say, what did I do differently? Okay, so things like that. I started recording those little things, those little baby steps, like, what do I need to do? Also, I have to keep up with this, I have to keep up with that. Oh, this is not working. So things like that. Let me tell you, if you are still saying these things that I'm about to tell you to your loved ones, that is a telltale sign that you are still stuck in that unforgiveness thing. If you are saying to your loved ones, I will never forgive you for small little thing that they would have done, and then the first thing you would say is, I will never ever forgive you for saying that to me. I will never forgive you for doing that to me. That will be your words to your loved ones. God started showing me that it's not them that you're really saying, I will never forgive you. You are actually telling your abuser that you will never forgive him. So really, when you're saying, oh, I forgive him and I've moved on, it's untrue, because you still have something that you're still saying to him, I will never forgive you. but yet you're saying it to your spouse, but really you want that to be directed to your abuser. So those words, now I started recording like, whoa, why did I say that for such a small little thing? Like, I will never forgive you for that, this little small issue. Then I started looking at my heart like, you know what, yes, let's deal with this. Lord, help me. How do I truly forgive this person and be free from him? And also, if you if you also have a tendency of saying I can do good by myself, I can go under the bridge and be fine, I don't need anybody, I have been this and this and this by myself, I can survive, I'm a survivor, I can survive anything. Oh yeah, it's a telltale sign. I'm telling you. For me, it was just saying, crying for that, to be hugged, to be loved. I still felt alone. I felt lonely, yet I was surrounded by people who love me, but yet still there was still that void. There was that thing that was just wanting to go back to, you know what, let me be alone, let me die miserable, let me just be somewhere by myself, don't bother me, because nobody can make me happy, I can't make anyone happy. So I felt every time when I argue with my husband, I just say, you know what, just leave. You go find somebody who can satisfy you, because I can't do it. You know, I always found myself saying things like that, like then he'll be so frustrated hearing that. Maybe you say, you know what, yeah, maybe you're right. I say, yeah, that's right, I can survive by myself, even if it means going under the bridge, I can survive, you know, saying things like that. God started showing me all these things that I was saying. I just went back to him like, you know what, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to, why do I say this? And what do I need? And let me tell you, if you are going through that phase where you are surrounded by people who love you, yet you can't sponge in their love, you are rejecting their love, this one, you just need to go to God, because only he himself can fill you up with his love, because that's something that God has to do, because that was the most difficult phase for me to take in love, to accept it, like, oh really, so he really loves me, he really cares for me. It's not or there's no hidden agenda, because that suspicious spirit, like, let me protect myself, I'm not sure, let me just give just a little bit, because if he hurts me, at least I'm protected, at least I'm protecting that little girl. That has to be dealt with you and God. You just need to go to God to help you in that. You know, if you are very fortunate enough to have those counselors that have ways to do with that, then good for you, because that one, you know, speaking for myself, I couldn't do that one by myself. It took a long time, because I had to learn to say, okay, I am loved. I had to learn and accept that really I'm loved, and this is a real deal thing. Oh, and the other thing is concerning yourself with people. Ooh, this people-pleasing spirit that comes with this whole thing of healing journey, it has to go. You just have to detach yourself from pursuing people's favor, pursuing people's whatever you are seeking from them, because it will never come. It will never come. It's deeper than that. So you concerning yourself with, oh, what would they think about my healing? Oh, they are saying this, so let me try and change it so they can say better words, or so they can say the good things about it. Might never come. Because the minute you start changing, I don't know if you watched, I said this thing, I talked about this, I think, that even when you are now changing, when God is now changing you, transforming you, those people that you are trying to please, or that you are trying for them to see that you are a changed person, they might never see it. They will still be stuck on your old you, and they will be so comfortable with your old you that they don't want you to change or to move on. They want your dysfunction. They have become what you call this, they have become comfortable with your dysfunction. So your change becomes uncomfortable for them because they are not sure themselves where this thing is taking you. So you find that even if you have transformed, you have changed, God has changed you, they will still label you with the old you labels. So in this process, you have to say, you know what, make up your mind, like, you know what, it's okay. I know it's okay, but move on. Don't be stuck like, oh, they still think of this and this about me. Okay, let them stay in the old house with the old you. You keep on moving on, keep on going. The ones that are for you will go with you. If they stay stuck with the old you, then let them stay stuck with the old you. But you keep on moving on with God, and you will get your victory. Once you commit all to God, you surrender all to God. Once you realize that, you know what, your own strength won't get you out of this thing. You won't be able to walk on this path by yourself. You need God. Once you realize that and you commit all, surrender all to Him, that's when you will be free from all that controlling, the fear, the anxiety, the shame, the bitterness, the unforgiveness, all those things. You start it's like you start opening up. You start letting go. It becomes easier and easier. It's not overnight, but at least you know, you sense it, you feel it, you see the results. You start just letting go, and then you will realize that this battle that you are in, the what you went through, it wasn't between you and that abuser or you a man. It was all about you and God. So when you focus on Him, He will help you. He will help you. I can testify to that because I was a mess. Guys, I was a mess. This journey, this trauma messed me up. So, and the journey became messy. I thank God it didn't become bloody, but I just believe that if my abuser did not die, will it have become bloody and I'll be in jail? I don't know. Who knows? We just thank God. Thank God. Thank God. Depending on the trauma you went through, of course, you realize that, you know what, this is not an overnight journey. This healing is not going to be overnight. Yes, we are healed and made whole, but some of us, the healing is a lifelong process. It's just going to go on. It's just going to go on forever. That's what I believe. So you find out that you start rejoicing for those little baby steps that you have made. For example, if you were giving your husband a 2 weeks silent treatment because he made you angry, you find yourself that it's now only 7 days. You celebrate like it's not 2 weeks no more, it's 7 days. And then from 7 days to 3 days, hallelujah, Jesus. You'll be like celebrating. I'm telling you, like, wow, from 2 weeks to 7 days to 3 days, and now to 24 hours. And then it becomes just a couple hours. You are mad and you let go. You already say, okay, so what are we going to do today? What are we doing today? You're already over it. Oh, that is when you will know that it's but God. Oh, you'll be speaking in tongues. That's when you will know it's nothing but God. Nothing but God. Because you would know that you look back on that path and say, if it was that Nancy from years back, hours won't happen. Let's do 2 weeks. 2 weeks silent treatment. And the other thing I left out, when you find yourself saying to your loved ones, I will fix you for doing that to me. I will fix you for saying those words to me. God started showing me that I was not saying I'm going to fix my husband because he said something ignorant out of anger. It was me telling myself that I'm going to fix you. I promise you, Nancy, I'm going to fix you. You are broken. I am going to fix you. So really pay attention to what you're saying when you're upset. When you start paying attention to those words that are coming out of your mouth, you will make your journey a little bit easier, because now you recognize where you need your healing and where your questions are going to be when you go in your prayer room. Like, okay, God, why do I keep on saying I'm going to fix him? For small issues, I will never forgive you. For small issues, I can do good by myself. For small issue, why, God? Why do I keep saying these things? What am I trying to fix here? Why am I not forgiving here? Why is it I'm so desperate to be by myself? What am I still running from? God will answer you, guys. God will answer you. It might not be the answer you are seeking or trying to hear, but he will answer you. So really, my advice, if you are in this healing journey, is don't give up no matter what. No matter who's discouraging you, what the naysayers are saying, the pressures you might be getting from people, like, you need to change, you need to do this. Just try your best. Go to God. Don't journey in this path alone. Ask God to journey with you, to help you, and he will come in your path and help you. Don't rush to nothing. It's not a competition whatsoever. It's your healing. You need the healing. You go for it. As long you don't give up on yourself. Just stay on this path and you will be fine. When you ask God to help you, he's the one who's going to lead you to those books that you need, the church to go to, the pastors, the bishops, the apostles, the prophets, whoever you need to be listening to in that season. He will lead you to those things. And meditate on those scriptures. I know people will think, oh, then you think you are holier than thou, whatever. It will help you. Keep on meditating on those scriptures. Something will sink in your spirit, because that word is going to help you when those anxiety attacks come during the night. That thing will help you. You start believing, trusting in something, because you want to train your trust. You want to train to believe in something. So that's why I just emphasize for you to just work on knowing few scriptures that you will repeat over and over and over, especially when that trigger comes in. Whatever that triggers you, when that thing comes in, you just keep on meditating on that same scripture no matter what. You will see one day it will sink in your spirit, that it just flows. You believe in it. You start believing in those words. So change what you have been telling yourself. You know, I know I've been there, being in a trauma situation. There's so many negative thoughts that comes in your mind. Change those negative thoughts. Start putting whatever you are reading and changing those thoughts little by little. waiting on God to transform your mind, because that transforming of that mind is what's not easy at all, because you're so used into that dysfunction and telling yourself negative, like, oh, I will never change. That's who I am. That's how it is. So what? No, start changing. Like, you know what? I can be better. I can do better. I want better for myself. I don't want this. Start changing your statements and saying positive words on you. Then you see that your perspective will start changing too. Loving you. Start appreciating you. Forgive yourself for being hard on yourself. Be gracious to you, because you being hard on yourself, it's not helping, because everybody else around you might be hard on you. And start practicing those habits that are so difficult. Like for me, it was so difficult to tell people I love you. When they say I love you, I'm like, oh God, I'm not gonna say it. So when they say I love you, I'm like, that's what I would say, because I couldn't say it. I just couldn't say, oh, I love you too. It was hard, because I thought in my mind, if I tell you I love you, now I have opened myself to you, and now you are going to attack me and hurt me and leave another pain. So I couldn't say that. I couldn't say I'm sorry. Pride issues. I couldn't say I forgive you or things like that. I was just like, okay, whatever. So I started training myself. Okay, if my husband says I love you, I need to say I love you too, or not to say I love you. I love you. Oh, no. You say I love you, then it started like love you, not love you too, love you, because it wasn't coming from the heart. I had to say it quickly to get out of it. It's crazy, but it happens. And if you're in that situation, just start practicing it. I love you too. I am sorry. I forgive you. Things like that. It starts practicing whatever you want to see happen to you. Give it out there. Go give love. Whatever you want to happen to you, just start practicing it yourself, to your spouse or your kids, and that same energy will just come back to you. But don't walk in this path alone. Walk with God, and He will help you. I hope you got something out of this, guys. And just remember, healing is a process. For me, healing is a lifelong process. I have not arrived, but you know what? I am grateful for where I am, because I know where I have been. So I'm grateful for where I am. So you don't give up on yourself. Don't allow people to discourage you. Just walk this path. Even if it means crawling, just stay on it. Just don't give up on yourself. God is no respecter of any persons. If He healed me, He can heal you too. Until next time, guys, I will see you in my next video, and you have a blessed week. Thank you.